Ladies and gentlemen, Saunch here. Welcome back to another episode here on the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. But in today's installment here on BNN, an episode of Bodybuilding Today, where we talk about all things bodybuilding relating under 2 weeks out from this year's 2022 Olympia as it returns to Las Vegas. We have a phenomenal physique update from one of the front runners to place very, very well in the conversation for at least top 4 in the classic physique division, Mr. Urs Kalsinski, aka the Miracle Bear, out of Germany, coming into this Olympia, like I said, a favorite to do well. One of the guys that has, in my opinion, I think in a lot of opinions of the other commentators on the webs, the guy with the conditioning. He is known for having that crazy conditioning. His structure has lacked in the last year or so as he's been competing. He's been needing to make some improvements, at least from my opinion, in the arms and the chest specifically. Thickness in the back is something we'd also like to see. Great legs on the guy. I mean, goodness, what a phenomenal quad sweep, as you see in this video he posted just recently. Nothing too crazy for length. I wish it was a longer video, but you're able to see everything you need to see here. Conditioning, size. I've heard people say he's made some improvements in the arms and the chest and the back, which is exactly what we want to see from him coming into this Olympia. Lots of people in the comment sections very happy with this video. Well, what I thought was an interesting conversation is what I've heard so far. Maybe an opinion, maybe a prediction, is Urs could overpass some people that are potentially bigger than him because he's going to bring that amazing conditioning. Now, I will say that conditioning is definitely a huge part in people's placings coming into, especially the Olympia. You really need to bring your best A game in terms of conditioning, size, the complete package. But I would be hesitant to put Urs over other competitors that are maybe not significantly bigger, but they have enough muscle to beat him out in previous shows. He has done what has been needed to take to overtake previous classic physique Olympian Breon Ainsley, but Breon Ainsley is also clapping back in a funny way of saying it with his own conditioning photo, briefly showing off some glute striations and Christmas tree action in the back. I am a huge fan of Breon. I think he has great structure. He brings a lot of muscle into the classic physique division. If you don't know, this will be potentially his last year in the classic as he is getting older in age and wants to make a splash back, returning to the 212, assumingly to finish off his career. I'm sure he has plenty of years left to compete as he is still very competitive, but the move to 212 will be interesting to see, especially if he places very well at this year's Olympia. If he makes improvements and moves back up to maybe second place, would he stay in the classic physique division? That is my question to you as we move into another conversation. Keone Pearson, a favorite, definitely a favorite to potentially win this year's 212 title at the Olympia. In a recent video, episode 4, I believe, of the Better or Not series, we discussed the improvements or lack thereof of Keone Pearson from this year leading into the Olympia. I did make some comments regarding his legs and how potentially they have downsized. Keone was nice enough to reply, although with a little bit of sass. I get that. I definitely do get that. He was just saying that he is flat and that the legs will fill out as he comes into the Olympia to add some carbs back in, maybe take out some substances, add some others in. Who knows? I don't know too much about that, but I do like this most recent physique update from Keone just 4 days ago, something around the 2nd of December, just over 2 weeks out from the Olympia. He does have leggings on, so you can't see the legs too much, but absolute crazy 3D effects. goon lighting, if you will, goon lighting from Nick Strength and Power. Great lighting he's chosen for these photos. I really, really like his chances here coming into the Olympia. Obviously, didn't make a huge splash last year outside the top 10 at the 2021 Olympia, something like 14th place, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. I can't get them all right. But I like Keone's chances here. He is by far one of my favorites coming into the 212 title. And last but certainly not least, we have a physique update courtesy of Hypertrophy Coach, the coach of Terrence Ruffin, Mr. Joe Bennett. Bennett. Sorry. Anyways, sharing some nice transition shots here on the from the gym next to the infamous window with the what is that? A Cybex? Maybe that's a Cybex Smith squat. Really nice piece of equipment. Anyways, the focus of this, besides sharing a physique updates of Terrence, obviously we love seeing the conditioning. Kind of a lot of the conversation today in this video was talking about conditioning. Mr. Joe here does mention people like myself as armchair experts talking about Terrence's physique update and sometimes how things look, as he says, more of the same. Now, you can read this post for yourself if you're interested. It's definitely an interesting look into how the weight cap affects athletes' ability to make massive improvements. I'm not going to say that Terrence looks exactly the same as last year. He's going to want to make improvements here and there, potentially try to add 4 or 5 pounds of muscle. But, you know, I thought the good comparison or the good mention in this post was if he adds size to, say, his arms or something that might maybe not need improvement, but something that could use improvement, it's going to take away from something else. So it would take away from the perfect balance of his physique. So something to think about when you are on the comment sections critiquing someone's physique. Always try to think about it holistically. And even me with making my critiques, I try to give a balanced compliment insult sandwich type of a scenario. So, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Make sure you guys stay tuned for another installment here on the Bodybuilding News Network, an episode of Bodybuilding Today. Consider subscribing for more content like this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.